Most NBA fans are currently sleeping on the Charlotte Hornets, but unbeknownst to you, they might be a pretty damn good sneaky playoff team that nobody sees coming. Hello everyone and welcome back to Step Back with Zach, and in today's video I want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets and how sneaky good they are. Before we go any further though, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It is my goal to hit 100 subscribers before April, so your subscription would be in fact very much appreciated. Thank you kindly. Make sure you subscribe. That was beautiful. Now first I want to talk about why the Charlotte Hornets are indeed overlooked. They currently sit with a record of 18-28, which is not that great, and they sit as the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference. But they are only 3.5 games back of a play-in spot. They are currently right now playing the Philadelphia 76ers, and they're up 25 points at halftime, albeit Joel Embiid is not playing, but still, the 76ers are no joke. A big reason that the Hornets currently have a losing record is their injuries. LaMelo Ball has already missed 10 games this season, and Brandon Miller, their second best player in my opinion, has missed 17 games this season. And together, they have only played 25 or now 26 out of the team's possible 47 games. The Charlotte Hornets have not been good for a long time. They haven't had a 50-win season since 1998 and have only had 3 seasons total of 45 plus wins. In the last 20 seasons, so dating back to the 2005-2006 NBA season, their highest winning season was 48, which is not bad. However, they got eliminated in the first round in a then very weak Eastern Conference, and in my opinion, that East was weaker than the East of today. Last season, the team finished with 19 wins total, which was the 3rd worst record of that season, and the season before that, they finished with 21 wins total, and then the season before that, it was only 27. So with underwhelming play because of injuries to some very key players for this team, it is easy to see why the Charlotte Hornets are currently overlooked. Now I want to talk about why and how they have become a very sneaky good team. The Charlotte Hornets are one of the best offensive teams in the NBA, and although they only sit 17th in terms of points per game at 116, they are 6th in terms of offensive rating, sitting at a 116.7, which is higher than teams like the Lakers and the Timberwolves and the Spurs and the Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons, all teams with a bona fide top 10 player in the NBA. These teams that I just mentioned are looked to be some of the best teams we have in the association. What really makes them stand out amongst other teams though is their ability to shoot the 3 ball so incredibly well. They make the 3rd most threes per game at 15.1 while shooting them at a 36.9% clip, which sits them at 9th. They are also a really good rebounding team. They sit 7th in rebounds per game at 45.6 and are 8th in defensive rebounding and 9th in offensive rebounding. They're also pretty solid at passing the ball. They sit 12th in assists. But going back to that shooting real quick, they are 5th in catch and shoot points per game on 39.1% shooting, which is 4th in the entire NBA, and are 5th in catch and shoot threes while being 6th in percentage at 38.5%. And on top of this, they are also 4th in effective field goal percentage on catch and shoots. They are also really good at scoring when they drive. They sit 6th in points per game on drives. However, they don't shoot the ball very effectively on their drives, but they do it a lot, they get a lot of points. And because of all of this, they sit 11th in the entire NBA in terms of true shooting. They've also had some absolutely massive wins this season. They beat the reigning champion OKC Thunder on the road, who were healthy by the way, by 27 points, absolutely blowing them out of the water, handing the Thunder only their 3rd home loss of the season at that point. They've also beaten the Lakers on the road by 18 points. They've beaten the Raptors twice. And recently they beat the Utah Jazz by 55 points. And this is the biggest point differential so far in the entire NBA season. And that loss for the Utah Jazz was the 2nd worst loss in terms of point differential of their franchise's history. So pretty insane stuff. The Hornets also, when they lose, don't actually lose by as much as you guys probably think. They are only outscored by roughly 11 points per game when they lose, but when they win, they outscore opponents by 19 points, which is insane. Meaning, When it rains, it most certainly pours. They are the only team below 500, being 10 games under, who have a positive net rating, meaning they are way better than their record actually shows. They have a higher net rating than the Lakers, who are currently 9 games over 500 or something like that, and the Orlando Magic, both who are actually worse than their records show. When LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Counterpoints, Miles Bridges, and Moussa Diabate are all playing, they outscore opponents by 21.7 points per game, meaning that they are so deadly when all their main pieces are playing, and that 5-man lineup is the lineup that they have run the most this season. I can't exactly find their record when all those 5 players are playing. I've looked and I can't see it, but I'm sure it is really damn impressive. In the team's first 25 games of the season, they started with a pretty damn bad 7-18 record. Keep in mind, this is during the time when LaMelo Ball was missing games and Brandon Miller was missing games and Counterpoints and Ryan Kalkbrenner were all getting acclimated, and coach Charles Lee was still trying to figure out rotations. But since their first 25 games, they have gone 11-10 and are currently looking to make it 12-10. And this latter record is, in my opinion, a lot better to evaluate them because they are healthier and they are playing like their advanced stats are actually showing. Another very underrated thing about the Charlotte Hornets is that they are really good at defending without fouling. They are 7th in terms of fouls per game and are 1st when it comes to opponent free throw makes and attempts. They, I forgot to mention as well, going back to the rebounding, give up the 2nd least amount of rebounds per game, having the 2nd best differential as well. This Hornets team just has such good young talent. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Counterpoints, who by the way is looking to be the best rookie shooter of all time and is debatably the best rookie of the 2025 NBA draft class. Moussa Diabate, who's a freaking beast, I absolutely love him. Ryan Kalkbrenner, who's looking to be a really solid rim protector and rim running center. Zion James as well, who's an incredible defender. This team is just loaded with good young talent. Tidjon Salon is still not great, but he's definitely looked a lot better. This team just looks really promising for the future. Now, of course, we can't talk about a team with this record only with highs. We have to talk about some of the lows or the counterpoints as well. The team, in my opinion, does not have very good depth, aside from Colin Sexton and Ryan Kalkbrenner. They sit 15th in bench points per game with 37.1, and in my opinion, and obviously to the eye test as well, this is mostly because of newly acquired Colin Sexton, who's always been an incredible flamethrower kind of scorer who's really good at providing points off the bench. Colin Sexton averages 14.4 points per game when he's coming off the bench, and the team is also 18th in assists and 22nd in turnovers, talking about their bench unit. And the 3-point shooting from the bench absolutely drops off the face of the planet. They go from 3rd from their whole team, mostly their starters, to 17th in 3-point field goals made per game. Their bench is 17th in offensive rating, however, they are 11th in defensive rating. And when you have players off the bench like a Josh Green and a Ryan Kalkbrenner and a Sion James, this most certainly helps. But again, the main thing that I will always come back to is that this team just has not proven that they can stay healthy. Like I mentioned earlier, LaMelo Ball has missed time this season, and so has Brandon Miller. However, LaMelo Ball only played 51 games his rookie season. His sophomore year, he did play 75. However, since then, he has not reached anywhere close to this mark. LaMelo Ball, in a possible 328 regular season games, has only suited up and played in 141 of them. And Brandon Miller last season, in his sophomore year, only played 27 games total, and this year, he's played 30 out of a possible 47. Injuries are probably the main cause of concern in my opinion for this team, but if those two can stay healthy, the sky really is the limit. But this team is also not very good defensively, especially their starters. They sit 21st in defensive rating overall. Going from 6th offensive rating to 21st defensive rating, that discrepancy is pretty insane. Opponents shoot 47.7% against them, which sits the Hornets 22nd in this aspect in the NBA, and opponents shoot 36.9% from 3 against the Hornets, which sits the Hornets at 24th, and they give up 42.8 field goals made per game, which again is 22nd. So really not great. Opponents score a lot of points against this team. And finally, what does this say about the Charlotte Hornets' future? Well, in my opinion, the Charlotte Hornets are gonna be a playoff team in no time. And although they won't have a very good draft pick this year because they don't own the rights to their own pick, and I'm not gonna get into that because there's like a whole essay about how this pick's gonna be conveyed, and I can't be bothered reading into that. They do own their 2027 first round pick. With the development of players like Con Kneppel and Brandon Miller and Moussa Diabate and Ryan Cockburn and again all those other young pieces that I mentioned earlier, this is going to be pivotal in the future success of this franchise. And with still having players like LaMelo Ball who they can trade if they want to, and Miles Bridges who they can also trade for some future assets, picks, or other young players, this is really going to help their case because Charlotte is not a very appealing free agency destination. Their best free agency signing is Gordon Hayward, maybe, back in 2020, and by then he wasn't very good. He'd come off his broken leg. So, in conclusion, the Hornets are really sneakily good, and you guys should really be paying more attention to them. However, that is all from me for this video. Let me know what you guys think about the Charlotte Hornets, and if you're watching them, and if you are, what do you think their ultimate ceiling is? Like I said in the intro, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.